What type do we call this one?
It's a flaw.
So anything that says vulnerable to criticism. Now, which one is the conclusion here?
We can be sure that we have elected one of the best management consultants available.
Yeah, we can be sure to have selected one of the best management consultants available. Why is that? Because
they're only applicants the top 1% of the firms worldwide.
What do you think is the problem with that?
So, what I was like, if just because it's true for one doesn't mean because you're applying a reputation based on one person. A person doesn't make up the whole reputation.
I think you might have misunderstood what they're saying. Reread the premise. I think you misunderstood what they're saying. So can you tell me who exactly we're going to interview?
Who work for management consulting firms that are applicants from like the top 1% firms?
Yes. So applicants that worked at the top 1% of firms. Does that mean we're going to get some of the best management consultants available?
No.
Not necessarily, right? Why?
Because you could have someone who's not the best.
Yep, exactly. So you might have amazing consultants working at smaller companies or not as good companies, but the individuals might be better than some of the individuals in the really good company or really high rank company, right? So yeah, I would say I would also scrutinize a bit. What does this even mean? Generally recognized as in the top 1% of firms worldwide. What does that mean? Top 1% in terms of revenue? That doesn't really mean anything, right? That doesn't mean they're the best just because they make the most money. Or do they mean top 1% in quality of work? We don't really know. They haven't really told us here. So think about that too, right? They didn't tell us that they were top 1% in terms of quality. They just said top 1%. It's vague. So we don't really know what they're talking about. But I think the main thing to focus on is the thing we talked about before, where it's, okay, yeah, firm XYZ is in the top 1%. It doesn't mean that everyone that works there is also in the top 1%, right? So what kind of fallacy do you think this is?
That's part of a whole.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not part to whole, it's actually whole to part. Why? Do you get the difference?
Because the whole is the organization you're looking at, and then you're narrowing it down to one.
Exactly. So you're taking what is true of the organization and implying or assuming that it applies to every single person at the company, right? Cool. Nice. So which one gives us the flaw that we thought of here?
I kept going between A and C. So like takes for granted that only the best management consultants have worked for top management. So that's what we discussed basically. So I would go with A. Okay.
Then what do you think is wrong with C then?
It's reversed.
Yeah, exactly. True of each member to be true of the whole. No, it's the other way around. We took what was true of the whole and then applied it to the parts. And that's why, I mean, I didn't know that answer choice was going to be there, but it's good that I asked, right? Are we going part to whole? So that's good. Yep. So you caught it that time.
Okay. Yeah, because it was always between those two, and I was like, I don't know why it's A.
It's understandable. I think now you have a better understanding of it. So, but like follow that process, right? Read it. What is wrong with this argument? How do I categorize this in the categories that I have? And then you go to answer choices, and then it makes it so much easier, right? Okay. Any other ones in these 5 tests?
I have a whole list, but I don't know what you have an agenda for today.
Let's maybe do 2 more. Okay. Let's do a couple more, and then we'll move on to the next thing.